Penguin Random House Canada presents Girl at the Edge of Sky by Lilian Nattel. Read for you by Stephanie Belding. The idea was astonishingly graceful and beautiful. It seemed to have given birth to itself, like a water lily appearing out of the calm darkness of a lake. From Life and Fate by Vasily Grossman, translated by Robert Chandler. Prisoner. Ukraine, August 1943. Her fall. She bursts through the clouds and opens her eyes. The sound of engines is receding. The sky around her, empty. There's no one to see that her eyes are gray, that she wears a scarf made from parachute silk, tucked inside her collar to keep it from chafing her neck, that her boots aren't regulation, or that she is several kilometers above the earth on which human beings have evolved. In this war, people are always falling from the sky. They're flung bouquets picked up by the wind, which carries them over fields and forests and towns. The wind fans pretty flames, it blows ash and smudges the sky. It spits the smell of mud, moss, rot, and the forge. It skims creeks and rustles leaves. It gropes in the gaps between wood and skin and blackening metal. The skin of a plane, the skin of a man, anything loose, anything fluid, blood, water, are all of a piece to the wind, which is neither friend nor enemy, though if you're the one in midair, you might feel otherwise. Where is the wind taking her? She has no other thought. The roar of air fills her ear. It presses her skin, and in its touch there's no protest from wounds, only the pleasure of wingless flight. She is as much substance as a god reclining on a bed of air. Above her, threads of clouds separate, and sun turns the heavens blue, more blue than color can be. Everything she surveys is exquisite. The sky is her secret retreat, her private sin. She doesn't need a plane or time. She has no past. She floats without fear. Her hand pulls the ripcord, knowing what needs to be done now. She feels the yank of straps as her parachute opens, capturing air, halting flight and sound. Her weight dangles from the harness. She comes back to what passes for reality. Her name is Lily. Litvyak or Litvyak. Something like that, anyway. She's blonde by peroxide. She's small by nature. Her age depends on the papers you look at. 19 is a possibility. This day, August 1st, and about midday, she blacked out as she slipped into the clouds, regaining consciousness when warmer air struck her face. The wind is pushing her westward. Smoke hasn't left her nostrils, nor the smell of tarry residue, though she sees no trace of the aircraft that were chasing her. Looking down, she finds her bearings by water. The meandering tendrils of green to the left are the Don River and its tributaries. The vast blue pool to the south is the Sea of Azov. She's over the Donetsk region in the eastern Ukraine, close to the border with Russia, but behind enemy lines. Like anyone who still survives, she's had narrow escapes, and she plans on another as she descends, thinking the wind might drop her in the long grass of a field where she could hide until night. The Don River leaves her field of vision. Mottled earth surges into shapes, the map below reconfiguring as she descends, more detailed than the one in her flight jacket, and yet the same, made by an uneasy alliance of hands, nature's and men's. Undulating rivers, lumpy hills, tracts of green and gold in squares and parallelograms. Men like geometry. Nature throws herself at her materials with abandon, which is how Lily flew her plane and drove her commanding officer crazy. She wears men's underpants because the army can't seem to get the hang of making any for the million women in it. As the harness pulls on her, the underpants get into the crack of her bottom, and the tugging bothers her more than her injured shoulder and the burn on her hand. A squiggle in the landscape expands to a twisting line closer than the dawn. This is the Krinka River, marked on her aviator's map. It's small, narrow, a peasant of a river invisible from any higher altitude. The golden fields could be wheat or rye, the green must be corn. It's been ages since she smelled an unburnt field. Her world has been a desert of gray and black and red, its odor of crushed tanks and half-buried corpses reaching a kilometer high. The river snakes through and around the fields, stopping short of the ruler-straight gray line that is a road. She closes her eyes for a moment, hoping to God, if there is one, that she won't go to a POW camp. Any other fate she'll accept. And though she doesn't pray, she recites a rhyme her grandmother taught her. Don't give a fuck what people say, make your luck and make them pay. As the wind dies, she stops moving in a westerly direction and drops straight down toward shades of green along the peasant river. Color takes on dimension. Trees spring up, a stand of woods near a stream, and she's rushing into their humble leafiness, these steppe trees that hug the water, a refuge of sorts. A branch catches her parachute, the harness yanks her shoulders. Still damp from the clouds, she pushes up her goggles and takes stock. She's wounded, but not mortally. She has a knife and her pistol. The war is 2 years old. She doesn't think she'll live long enough to have children. Nesting birds call and bring food to their fledglings as if she's just a fruit, or an oversized flower, or even a large fungus growing out of the tree trunk. From here she can see the other bank of the Krinka River, steeper, rockier. Pasture without sheep, a ramshackle cottage, and beside it, a small garden. Beyond her sight, farther west, her grandmother is living under German occupation. This side of the riverbank is dense with low vegetation where she can hide if she detaches herself from the tree, but she can't move. Her muscles are flaccid, her brain rambling. All this peaceful greenery is sapping her will. Where the sun falls on her between the leaves, she feels patches of warmth. Shell fragments are embedded in the flesh of her right shoulder. She can bend her arm a bit, but lifting it is agony. Blood seeps into the sleeve, a slow leak, and as long as she stays still, nothing will hurt more. The harness holds her like a child's swing, like the ones in the Moscow park where she climbed her first tree. She tore her dress and knew she'd get spanked for it, but she pushed herself to the high branches where she stood as still as if bark grew out of her bare soles, eye to eye with a yellow-chested bird. It was only later, after the spanking and after the rip was sewn up, that she felt remorse over the scarring of her favorite dress. In the fields beyond the woods, distant figures like cloth dolls bend and stand. If they come any closer, they'll show themselves as human, and of all the varieties she knows, there are few she wishes to encounter while strapped to a tree. Unthinkingly, Lily moves her left hand, brushing its blistered back against some leaves. She can't stop the odd sound that issues from the base of her throat, half gulp, half moan, and she clamps the uninjured palm over her mouth. She isn't entirely alone. She hears voices. They've followed her from the plain. You silly girl, what did you do to yourself? Don't tell me you can't get down. Am I talking to a wall? You need a smack to clear your ears? Pull the left strap high up. Like that. See how easy the hand goes through? It's fine. Don't make a noise. You want the neighbors to hear? If you're so feeble, you have no business shooting down planes. How many today? 2? Oh, my God, what am I going to do with you? The left strap is off. Panting, head hanging, sweat pooling under her leather cap. Lily holds on to the branch with her burned hand, all the weight of the harness on her shot shoulder, as she tries to slide out of its strap. Her grandmother can scold, but Lily is done. She's going to fall. What a face you're making. It isn't time for a vacation, lazy girl. Forget the shoulder.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?